Good evening and welcome to Crypto Pulse Weekly with Dr. Damien. Today, as usual, we'll be talking about the issues affecting the cryptocurrency markets. We'll go through the check on sentiment, we'll go through a normal market review, we'll go through a Crypto Pulse, and then we'll go through questions and answers on any issues after our crypto break. So let's get started. So in a market update, we have significant volatility affecting Bitcoin this week because there had been some news around OK Exchange founders being arrested by the police. As expected, there was some, short-term sentiments on the market, but I don't think it has really affected the market in any significant way. And I would say that it's basically about a 0.3% drop in the price of Bitcoin. And I mean, in terms of price action, Bitcoin is still comfortably sitting at 11,000. And it's not been able to break 11.5 successfully. And neither has it broken down below 11.3 currently. We'll talk about that under our detailed analysis of Bitcoin, and we'll expect that Bitcoin will need to break 12K to sustain the bullish run. So in terms of regulation, we did hear this week that the founder of OK Exchange has been apprehended and is been brought in for questioning. I think it's just a general trend in the clamp down on the leadership of cryptocurrency organizations, and it's just one of the ploys to sort of deflect people away from the idea of cryptocurrency, while the government and the big corporate organizations are trying to fill their pockets before everybody else does. So it's not like it's expected, and I think that's this same trend happened back in 2016 when you saw people being clamped down on and people talking about cryptocurrency as something bad. But what's happening in the background is actually more significant than what's being shown in the foreground. So in terms of sentiments, I would say that the sentiment is still high, as you can see, as we'll see in chart analysis, that Bitcoin has successfully made a 6-day bullish candle back to back. And I think the last time that happened was about 2 years ago. So sentiment is still very strong. We're at an all-time high hash rate in terms of transaction processing, which shows that there's a lot of interest going on the blockchain network. So it's expected that we will see significant action in the Bitcoin markets and generally for cryptocurrencies in the next 2 weeks, partly because of the US election and partly because there's been too much heavy buyout of cryptocurrencies for us not to have that kind of breakouts anytime soon. So in terms of main news items for today, the first one is this story about OK Exchange that just broke today. The founder of OK Exchange was, placed under investigation. The exchange itself froze withdrawals today following that news. I think it might be something around security or something like that, but I'm not sure yet. But basically, if you had OK Exchange accounts, you can't withdraw right now. As I said, I think it's just part of a general trend. First, it was this guy, McAfee guy. Then it was the, what's his name now? Arthur Hayes, the guys whose company was BitMEX, who are being held for derivatives. So it's expected that you have this kind of drama around this period. So it's just, as I would say, or as I usually say, it's just what I'll call market noise. It doesn't mean that something bad is happening to the market. It just means that the government and the institutions are trying to paint those people bad so that people will not be able to buy at cheaper prices whilst they are buying. And I'll explain that shortly so that you understand that whatever is happening on the surface is different from what's happening deep in the undercurrents. So that's that for OK Exchange. We've seen that that's been the trend for the past few weeks. In another news, we see Theta as a stable currency overthrowing XRP. Actually, I've done this earlier on, but it didn't make it up to my top selection. So Theta is a stable coin. A stable coin is an example of a digital asset that has a direct correlation to a physical currency. So USD or Theta tied to the US dollar. So for each US dollar, usually it gets 1 Theta. But right now, I think they've adjusted it to maximize their profit to 0.7 or something like that. So the same thing goes for DAI. The same thing goes for USD coin. The same thing goes for True USD or True GBP or Binance USD. They are exchange specific stable coins and they're general stable coins. So of all the stable coins, Theta was the first. And what Theta did was Theta actually allowed people to create infrastructure to exchange Bitcoin for money, apart from the exchanges. Because what Theta does is, if I buy if I sell my Bitcoin to Theta, I can get currency for my Theta. So before Bitcoin gained this current acceptance, Theta was the interface to the open market. So right now, the stable currency market has silently grown over the last 1 year by 200%. So if you took a snapshot from last year, October to now, Theta was market cap of $5 billion US as at October last year. Right now, it's raising over 15 billion plus. So $10 billion has silently crept into the stablecoin, or not stablecoin, the Theta market. The stablecoin itself is also going ballistic. So you have other coins like DAI and USD coin who are rapidly gaining in market capitalization. So to the to the layman, you ask me, what does this mean? What it means is that institutions and large investors are silently positioning for opportunities to buy choice crypto assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum and Chainlink and the likes. Because what happens is, when you have Theta, it means you already have the physical cash in a blockchain, quote and unquote, blockchain compliant format. So I can use my Theta to place a pending order to say, if Bitcoin mistakenly drops to 9K, please buy 5 billion or buy 2 billion or buy 300 million worth of Bitcoin. And I think that's partly responsible for the resilience we've seen in the Bitcoin prices over the last, I would say, 8 weeks. So you see all sorts of quote and unquote terrible things happening, but the price just simply refused to stay down, because below the price levels, there are huge buying orders from USDT to buy Bitcoin. So yeah, it's significant to keep an eye on what's happening in Theta as well. I think maybe from following weeks, I would start keeping a track on what's happening for Theta. But it's important to note that, yeah, it's actually grown. It used to be like number 5 or number 8. It's now grown to number 3. So it's the biggest in terms of digital assets. It's decentralized. It's not decentralized like blockchain. I mean, like the blockchain itself, or for Bitcoin. It's decentralized. There's a particular company that set it up. But to say that the market capitalization has more than doubled for 3 times, yeah, from 5 to 15 million plus. Done 3x in the space of 1 year is telling of what is to come in terms of the purchase of digital assets. So that's that for Theta. I just thought that I needed to bring that up and explain a bit of what's being used for. So because so many people ask me, so what do you use stable coins for? Why do you need stable coins? you need stable coins to trade as well. So if you used to trade stock or used to trade forex, you understand that you need to bank profits from time to time. If you want to bank your profits, the best way to bank your profits as a trader on the cryptocurrency market, especially spot trading, is to use Theta. Because if you use Theta, so let's say I bought Theta at no, let's say I bought Theta at 1 to 0.7 or 1 to $1. So I have $10,000 or 10,000 units of Theta, which is $10,000. And I want to buy Bitcoin. And I waited for when Bitcoin came down to 9,008 just at the beginning of September. So I bought it at 9,008 and I set it to say, when it gets to 11,000, sell it off. Because Bitcoin trades with a lot of currency pairs, once I sell it off against USD Theta, what it means is once the price of Bitcoin gets to 11K5, or 11K3, it automatically sells to Theta, which means I have more cash potentially than I had at the beginning. So I had gained over $1,000 in less than 6 weeks. What am I saying? In less than 4 weeks, by just trading against Theta. So many traders use that. And if you attend my training on the 30th of that's 30th. So it's 31st of October, you'll probably be able to learn about more of these strategies. So Theta is a very good instrument. And for it to be getting this kind of market capitalization and traction this year is significant and is telling of what is to come. The next item on the news is the era of, I'll call it blockchain treasuries. So corporate blockchain treasuries, that's the word I would like to use for it. So over the last 5 months, over the last 5 months, we've seen an interesting trend in Silicon Valley and New York's stock exchange traded companies taking positions in the cryptocurrency space. So before now, no CFO, will have wanted to, identify themselves with anything called cryptocurrencies. But to say that these companies that you are seeing on the screen have taken a position of over 600 million, $500 billion. What am I saying? Over $500 billion in the last 6 months is telling of what is going to happen and what is currently happening. So these guys, MicroStrategy, Galaxy Digital, Riot Blockchain, Cyberpunks, Square, are publicly traded companies. Many of them are known on New York Stock Exchange. And what they're saying is they're migrating significant portions of their balance sheets into blockchain. A balance sheet is a company asset in financial terms. So for companies to be moving significant portion of their cash reserves into Bitcoin is a massive, massive move. It's a massive move, guys. If you don't understand, it means that companies are hedging their future against Bitcoin. So, these are major companies. Not to talk of minor companies or, companies that you don't know that have, millions or hundreds of millions that are silently stocking up as well. So it's interesting to see how this is playing out. And the guys have said, people like MicroStrategy have said, we're willing to hold for 100 years. Square has said, it just makes sense for us to, move a portion of our treasury into Bitcoin because, we know what is coming out. We think it's best for us to position. I've not even mentioned BlackRock. BlackRock is silently at the background, also amassing. I understand. They've not declared, but based on analysis on chain, I understand they also have another about 500 million of Bitcoin that's been bought. So it's I can't even imagine what the price of Bitcoin will look like in 2 years from now, because these guys have really bought up a significant amount of Bitcoins in the last 6 months. And it also means that there is a big seller out there that is selling to all these guys, because otherwise the price will have really gone crazy by now. But this is huge. This is huge by all standards. This is massive. All happening in the space of 6 months. It's quite massive. So that's that for big companies adding blockchain to their balance sheet. It will be nice to see what company financials look like in the next 5 to 10 years when they're doing AGM and you see Bitcoin, you see Ethereum, you see 55,000 Bitcoin, 50,000 Ethereum. to be nice to see how that looks on the company financial statements. But that's that about the companies and their balance sheet and hedging their treasuries against cryptocurrencies. Of course, if you're in Nigeria or in Nigeria and you already know about the NSAS project, I will call it a protest. I will say it's a project because the level of orchestration and organization has gone into this activities. I say by far is extremely commendable, and it makes me have hope that the generations after us are a lot more, a lot more better. I mean, a lot better than us. I was saying earlier in the day that it will look like this new generation that never witnessed what it was to be under military oppression are able to project their desires and able to articulate their wants, as opposed to the generations that were born under the shackles of the military era. I think there's a new thing happening in Nigeria because of these guys. But significant moves from these guys. So the banks decided to block them, probably on the instruction of central bank. They decided to freeze the accounts of the guys, some of the guys spearheading stuff. And I mean, immediately right there on Twitter, you could see them switching to Bitcoin wallets and posting live updates of the wallet. And you have some other guys who are posting, the status, blockchain status, and transaction status of those accounts. It was awesome, to be honest. I think the leadership in Nigeria does not know what's coming for them. These guys are advanced and they're prepared. I can tell you that. And I mean, I was moved to tears when I saw the kind of moves that these guys are making. I'm like, is this Nigeria? I mean, these guys went all out. They got over 50 million 50 million naira in 24 hours. They had everything set up. If you were sick, they paid for your treatment. If you got arrested, they got you out of jail. If you needed, if your car was damaged, they got people to fix your car. If you were hungry, they had food vendors that were supplying them food, all sorts of food. In fact, I hear now that people don't want the protest to end because food vendors are killing them with all sorts of food. So you can imagine the orchestration that has happened within this short period of time by them switching to cryptocurrency. Man, it was almost instant. Immediately those guys reported that their accounts were being frozen, and Flutterwave, the crowdfund group, was not allowing them to process stuff. Immediately, people started sending them crypto. Immediately, like I was on Twitter that day, and immediately people started sending them crypto. It's a testament to how far we've come in our migration journey from fiat currencies to digital assets. And I think Nigeria will play. I mean, it's my desire, honestly, and it's one of my why for doing what I'm doing, that Nigeria would, take its place early in the Community of Nations in this journey to migration to digital currencies. Whether we like it or not, it's here to stay. As you find out in other news, people like the European Central Bank and the Committee of Central Banks, actually working with the IMF and the World Bank, are already developing frameworks for digital assets. So you have the OECD working on tax and regulatory framework for digital assets. You have the World Economic Forum creating standards on blockchain. In fact, there was a news earlier, I didn't carry that regulators in Nigeria, governments in Nigeria are also looking to how they can use blockchain for, government payments. I'm like, yeah, they better do that. I mean, we have one of the most tech adoptive youths in the world. I mean, not talk of just Africa. We have people who are quite savvy with, social media and new media, generally speaking. So it's a no-brainer that we should try to position ourselves at this point where we seem to have not too much gap with the Western world. Let me use that word. So in my view, we're not up to 10 years away from the Western world in terms of the adoption of cryptocurrencies. And to think that, we had the largest number of Bitcoin transactions in Africa. That one, it went without saying this year. We already have that this year. So it goes without saying that we're already using the technology because of the state of our economy and because of the way the country is. But I think it behoves on people in leadership and policymakers to ensure that we get a hold of this. So like people like Singapore are setting up hubs. Hong Kong is setting up hubs for exchanges to set up like free trade zones, to have companies set up cryptocurrency hubs. I mean, like you'll have heard earlier in the week, I think it was the day before yesterday or thereabouts, that in a Nigerian startup for 5 years raised $200 million this week. And I mean, those guys are, of course, the born and bred in Nigeria. They're doing the stuff in Nigeria. Created a fantastic API for payment systems, something that banks couldn't do. And they got Series A funding for like, I think $10 million or thereabouts. They got Series B funding now for $200 million. Of course, they got bought over by Stripe. But I think as a country, we have an opportunity to position ourselves and take the opportunities that this cryptocurrency market presents us. Just like the GSM revolution happened around the same time in the world. And I mean, in terms of infrastructure, we're not too far back. I make bold to say, to be honest, the fastest of the internet in Nigeria will still rival average internet in the UK by far. No doubt about that. So I think it's an opportunity for us, to be honest, to get our hands on this thing and get involved and position ourselves as a big player in the world in cryptocurrency matters. So generally speaking, the market is still standing strong for crypto. I mean, all the things that have happened in the last 3 weeks have been enough to damage the market significantly, but not as really. I mean, all the noise that everybody's making, Bitcoin has rarely moved beyond 20%. I mean, the stock markets on S&P can go 30% in one day, and everybody will say, "Oh, the market was down today," but all the noise everybody's making about Bitcoin, but the market has simply not gone down. So it's foretelling of something huge to come. As you will see during our crypto vital signs, when I explain the chart, you see why I think we're at that point. We're almost at that tipping point when the price just starts to go crazy, and you can't catch it anymore. So in terms of market cap, we've gained 4 billion. So last week was 356 billion US dollars. We gained 4 billion over the last 1 week. Altcoins are probably be sitting around 90 million. It's not moved significantly, but of course the 4 billion is explained in the price increase we've seen in Bitcoin as well. So the price has just refused to come down. As you can see here, this is the weekly chart, which covers the onset from when somebody like Binance started capturing the data. This was the original bottom at 2,800 before the 2016 run, and this was the tip at the peak of the 2016 run at 19,798. Now, if you've been in any of my classes where I explain trend lines are trend lines. They connote trend on any graph, on any price graph. If you follow this trend line all the way down from 2016, from 2017 all the way down, you find out that this line only got broken at the beginning of July this year. Now, the market has tried to go back to test that line. So usually in price movement, the market usually tries to go back to test a line that was originally a resistance and to test if it can be a support. The market has tried to go back to that line, but has not succeeded and has been held by the moving averages, so to speak. And now, this was the beginning of, on the weekly, this was the first week of September. And we've been climbing up, albeit staggeredly, since the first week of September, 2 weeks up, 2 weeks down. This is this week. This candle is called a doji, by the way. It's like an indecision candle on the market, meaning there is a stalemate between the buyers and the seller over the course of this week. It might change, of course, because this is the weekly chart, and it might change before the end of the week. On the daily charts, it shows a more granular detail, because that same trend line, there's a shorter one. Let me show you that shorter one. This one that is showing like this shorter one is the one that is showing here. So this shorter one that comes from 12,468 was broken on Saturday, and since Saturday, you see that the price of Bitcoin has gone 6 straight days on a green candle, meaning the buy pressure was on for 6 consistent days. Why is this important? The last time the price did this was before the bull run in 2017 when the market went crazy. So everybody had been talking about it, that that Bitcoin has not done this in 2 years, to have 6 straight continuous gain on the daily chart. And you can see that instead of breaking down as usual and coming down to test on the moving averages, the market has sort of broken into a sideways trajectory. Now, 2 things are expected in the coming days. Either the market will get tired and then will start to come down and bounce on this ascending trend line, which is almost in tangent with the 200-day moving average, which is this green line, or the market will try to hit 12,000, which is here, which is close. The market was at 11,007 or 11,006 about 3 days ago. So people are hoping that the market would, from this consolidation, gain enough strength to push further. My bets are the markets are going up, because I think most of the Bitcoins on ground that people want to sell are already sold. Personal opinion. So any big markets or any big spender that comes into market now is going to move the price. It's going to move the needle on the price of Bitcoin. And we already have, as I said, I think that was the beginning of September. Yeah, end of August. We already have futures priced in at 36,000 at the end of the year. People are saying, okay, maybe not at 6,000, maybe 18,000. But I can tell you that if this price breaks 12,000 and breaks 13,000, then it's going back to all-time high of 19,000. And if it gets to anywhere close, then the market is going to exceed 20,000, because everybody wants to now get it before the price of Bitcoin gets to 20,000. And it's not going to slide back easily. As I said, the heavy hitters are buying up this thing. So it's going to be a while before you see Bitcoin. As I told some of my classmates, I said, don't say I didn't tell you. You can say Dr. Demi Crypto, but don't say I didn't tell you that whatever you do, make sure you have crypto in your asset before the end of the year, before you bite your tongues and in regrets, because you might never ever see Bitcoin at the prices you are seeing it this year. Okay, you can mark my words on that. Let's move on. This you don't know about this type. I usually like to make reference to it to say, where are we in the market cycle for this season? I would say we're here. We're still here, and because this ascension is almost vertical, that's why we're still here. Like I said, once we exceed 15,000, honestly, I think we'll be in the zone of belief, and everyone will say, yes, the rally has really started. But frankly, the rally has started. The whole market is over 50%. Yeah, what am I saying? Yes, the entire crypto market is over 50% since the halving. Anyway, despite everything that's happening, it's still over 50%, generally speaking. So momentum is picking up. It will be interesting to see how it will pan out before the end of the year. But definitely, it's going to be a very wild ride in 2021. Definitely, because then there will be no US election. Everything will be stable. COVID, everybody will have to accept our fate with COVID. Like the song that people sing during protests when we're in secondary school. No, not secondary school, uni. That says that how many people will mobile police kill? That you will kill us till you're tired. So I guess that's the same thing we'll say for COVID. That how many people will COVID kill? It don't kill everybody, obviously, but I think everybody will just come to terms with saying, like, we need to move on. We need to get our economy started, which is what is happening now with all this tiered what's it called, lockdown in Britain. So yeah, we're here. We're very soon going to get here. By the time we get here, honestly, I think it's too late to buy at that time. I mean, personally, I will not be buying Bitcoin at that time. I'll be buying other things. Well, definitely, that would be in the range of 18,000. Why would I want to buy Bitcoin at 18,000? It doesn't make sense. But it's still cheap anyway. But it doesn't make sense personally for me. I'll prefer to buy other things. So, in terms of sentiments, as I said earlier on last week, we're still in the good region. Good region means we're still in the buy region. So we were neutral last week. 3 weeks ago. We were neutral last week. This is the one from last week, 48, and we're still neutral. So even though the price is gaining back, we're still neutral, meaning people are still cautious of buying, which means it's still a good place to buy. When you see that we start getting into this green zone, then you know that the market is getting close to consolidation. So we're still neutral. I guess we won't see green until we get into 12,000 region in terms of price of Bitcoin. So yeah, we're still neutral right now, still a good place to buy. Some people are hoping that the price of Bitcoin will come down to 10,000. I'm at this point, frankly speaking, I'm beginning to doubt it, because there was almost every reason for the price of Bitcoin to sink to like 8,000 in the last 6 weeks, and I simply refused to go below 10,000 or stay below 10,000. It's like trying to bury a soccer ball below the pool. It keeps bobbing up because there seems to be too much buoyancy in the market right now. So that's where we are in terms of fear and greed. Like I always said, if we are the greed, like we found out, once we get to greed, then it might not be a good point to buy. But right now, we're still a good point to buy. In terms of overall sentiments, I've brought this charts for comparative analysis. So what you have at the top are the same charts last week. So last week for intraday technical analysis, Bitcoin, GBP, for instance, and USD was a good buy. It's still a good buy intraday. And last week it was strong buy. Right now it's pulled back, which is also reflected on the chart, because we saw the chart today, like we see about 2 slides ago. You see that we're not moving forward, we're just going sideways currently. But the sentiment is still good generally. Technically speaking, it's still a good buy on the short term, and it's still a good buy on the daily charts. So that's that in terms of the analysis and the crypto pulse. I expect that we will see some actions again the later part of next week, and leading up to later part of next week and the week leading up to the election, which is the week after, because then the market will definitely be volatile. So I expect to see some action there. In terms of our crypto dip today, I wanted to explain the concept of airdrops. So if you're part of the Crypto Pulse weekly WhatsApp group, you'll have noticed that I've been sending a lot of airdrop notification, and somebody actually asked me that I don't have iPhone. How do I get this airdrop? So I have to explain that they're not really like the iPhone airdrops. These are cryptocurrency or digital asset airdrops, and basically airdrops are very funny. And like when any new asset class is being formed, there are just so much opportunities. So whether we like it or not, this cryptocurrency thing is a new asset class on its own that is being formed right before our very eyes. I mean, the expert says that you rarely find that happen, more than once in a century. So opportunities come, and one of them is this airdrop. It sounds crazy, but it's the truth. So usually airdrops are used to gather they used to send tokens around to prospective community and used to build the community. It also helps people, doing cryptocurrency projects to get data, so they can get social media data, they can get phone data, because usually it entails you doing a number of tasks. Once you do those tasks, then you get rewarded with airdrops. And I mean, I never used to bother about it, because I just felt that, it was a bit trivial, until I started seeing some figures popping in. I mean, I belong to a group where people are sharing, the proceeds they made from airdrops. I mean, these are staggering amounts, like $40,000, $50,000 from airdrops. So at that time, I like, okay, this is serious. And when I started delving into it, I found out that at the crux of it, most decent projects use airdrop to gain a community, because they don't have a market base, they don't have customers. So they give out the tokens for free and encourage people to recruit other people so that they get more tokens. so that they increase the community and the user base. And the reason they do that is so that they can get a waiting market, quote and unquote, when they eventually launch the project. So I'm going to give you two examples and tell you how. In fact, let's start from one that happened in the last bull run. Binance today is an exchange with market capitalization in excess of, I mean, $2 billion. Binance started out as a startup around 2016 as well. And I remember someone telling me that he got the airdrops for Binance for free, and that he must have like maybe 100,000. I can't remember. The figure is crazy. To be honest, I can't process it. He got a crazy amount of Binance coin for free as airdrops. And lo and behold, Binance gets to launch. Binance starts selling starts trading at, I can't remember how many cents. Then Binance goes from units to almost 30 something dollars. I understood that guy only needed to sell 10% of his Binance coins back in 2017 to Hammer, quote unquote, because he had so much of it. And at the point, I mean, it was nothing. It was nothing. We literally got them for free. And now he has a bag of them. He has not sold it since then, from what I understand. He's still waiting for, of course, the price to go up to maybe like $100 to sell them. Same thing with Uniswap. So when Uniswap started out, they did encourage everyone. Uniswap is a decentralized exchange, by the way, if you don't know. They encourage people to connect their wallets and try to use their exchange for transactions. Um, I only connected my wallet then because I wanted to buy a particular coin that I heard about and it wasn't on the exchanges. It was only available on the decentralized exchanges. So I connected my wallet and just did it and got the funds. When they launched fully, or when they launched their own coin fully, they said we're going to reward everybody that's used our platform in the last so number of months up until beginning of September, and we're going to give everybody 400 tokens per person per wallet. Now, because I had only connected only one Ethereum wallet, I only got 400. I mean, I saw guys who had connected who had connected 6, 7, 8 wallets. So all of a sudden, someone has almost 3,000 tokens. And I mean, to put it in perspective, 3,000 token 24 hours after the launch of Uniswap will have been worth $15,000 because the price went up to $5 per unit per token within 24 hours of launch. So it might look trivial, and you might be wondering why is they sending me all this stuff. But I mean, I'm all for profiting, so there's money to be made. Why not? It's I don't want to say it's free money. You have to do something to get it, but it's easy money if you get what I mean. And you never know what the token is going to do. In fact, after Uniswap launched and I got my phone, I remember somebody saying, "Oh my God, I didn't do this." I gave him some, and I told him that in fact, as I'm giving you now, I'm still going to the exchange to buy more because after they launched, they started trading on the main exchanges, and now they are being projected as one of the big players in the next 2 years. So your Binance, I mean your Uniswap, that let's say someone got 400, it got 400 Uniswap tokens for free. Uniswap started selling at $2.50. Then it rose up to about $5.70 or thereabouts. But it's dropped down now back to a bit below $3. There's expectation is that Uniswap might hit anywhere between 30, 50, or $100 in the years to come. So imagine that 400 token that was given to you free selling at $100. Just imagine. That's 400 and 100. That's $40,000 for free. So that's why I usually send, when I look through airdrops and I see that it looks serious, I try to share it because you never know. But things to note is that you should make sure that you have a separate emails. For the ones that require email, you need to make sure that you have a separate emails. For the serious ones, they usually try to use bots, so they won't really ask for your email. They might ask for your ERC token address, ask for your Twitter account, ask for your Instagram account. No, not Instagram, Telegram. Yeah, Twitter, Telegram, and usually phone numbers for the most part. Or in some cases, email. And because we're generally getting into an era of mass adoption, you can never tell what these tokens are going to sell for in the future. So imagine Bitcoin starts doing $100. Every single token that has a price will appreciate, every single one. So when I send you, I mean, airdrop, that's what's going up at the back of my mind. But like, you never know what's this going to, I mean, and it costs you nothing to do it now. You never know how you're going to need it in the future. So that's going to be a wrap for today. If you have any questions, guys on Instagram, I see you. Dapuzi, I see you. Dami Boy, I see you. Valued Graphic Photography, Mr. Payne, I see you as well. So if you have any questions, please pop them on the chat or please unmute yourself if you're on Zoom, and I'll take your questions before we run out of time.
Thank you, Dr. David. Sorry, I joined late.
Oh, I forgot to mention. Sorry, guys, I forgot to mention. I have a trading summit booked for the 31st of October. It's a paid session because it's practical. You need to have money in your account and you need to be able to execute some trades. I'll be talking about how to trade on exchanges and how to take profits and take positions and take advantages of the market cycle. So if you're interested, do let me know. For people in the UK, $120. For people in the UK, it's £100. But for people already on CryptoPulse, I'll give you a discount. But if you're interested, do let me know because I only need a few people who are really interested in trading. So if you have questions on Zoom, please let me have them.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Dimi. I
Yes,
joined a bit late. Despite the fact that I was the one sending message if the meeting will hold or not. I was engrossed with another thing. Sorry, some of the airdrops shared. I was able to do that of CWT, but most of these things I didn't have clue. I'm sorry. I was fast at using my Ether wallet in 2017, but I abandoned crypto completely till I met you again and we started talking on. So most of those things I don't understand. Like the one you share the wallet that we use. I'm having, that's why the next training that is coming, I should attend. Probably I can bring up all those issues.
Yeah.
Now, the first one you shared about 2-3 weeks ago, I haven't completed it because the facial recognition, it wasn't taken. I wouldn't know, probably my
yeah, it's I don't want to say the program is racist, but I think it works well in very illuminated environments. But yes, I think the program is racist.
I went outside, inside, at the peak of sun. I did it, it wasn't taken. So I just abandoned it.
Well, he was giving some instruction that you should turn to the left, turn to the right.
I was following the instruction. After some time, just failed.
Then
but I will try. I think this weekend.
Dr. Demi is not only him. Same thing happened with me. We turn to left, turn to right, turn upside down. It didn't take.
I think he did his racist, to be honest.
And because, but if Dr. Demi could do it, I should be able to do it.
Yeah, it takes some time for me to get it done. That's why I was laughing when you were complaining about it, because not only were a lot of people trying to do it, so it's that particular company is a Korean, it's a South Korean company that's creating a decentralized wallet, and they're trying to use facial recognition to make sure that no two people get the same thing. So I guess they started jamming for people of color because somebody like me that had 2 lines. I wanted to try to do for my 2 lines, but the second one just didn't go through. I did it successfully for the first one, but the second line didn't go through at all. So it's probable that it got jammed on that particular day. And there are some other ones that are time bound that you needed to like there was one I got today, and by the time I was getting it, it was already like maybe 2 hours to close. And I think immediately I sent it, maybe like 1 hour later, somebody else told me that, do you know that thing has closed now? Like they said, they're not doing it. So there are also people that have targets on how much volume they're looking for in terms of users. So they send those airdrops to just say, this airdrop. If you can add 1 or 2 people, you get your airdrop token, and you need to put your ERC token address and all that. But what I would just say is, anyone that I send, try and just do them, because you never know. In fact, that TWT that we're talking about, before TWT did the one they are doing right now, when they started creating their tokens, I think it was in June, they did say that, share your whatever. I didn't do it. I had 3 Trust Wallet addresses. So I was like, I already have these addresses. Who am I going to share to now? Because I already have that. I'm not creating new ones. There were guys that went to create new ones. There's a guy's account, and so he had $48,000 in TWT because he had created so many accounts. And what happened was they now did a token burn, meaning they automatically increased the value of the existing tokens by burning the rest. So TWT did like times 10 or times 5, I can't remember the figure. And all of a sudden, the guy's tokens were worth $48,000. So you shouldn't take it for granted as much as you can.
What?
Yeah. So Dr. Demi, I also saw that the mining of this TWT, that
Yes.
one can increase by 100, 250, and all those things.
Yes, you can just buy TWT on Binance and send it to your.
Okay, send it to that wallet. Then
Yes.
it will increase my
Yes, to increase your
mining yield. Okay.
Thank you for even bringing it out. I wanted to do it, so I totally forgot.
But I checked the exchanges. The TWT is there is no Binance there. It's Binance Dex.
Sorry?
I know.
Yeah, what did you say? You said it wasn't on
I
Binance.
said I checked the exchanges that TWT are. And I found out that it's only maybe Hotbit and all those things. The Binance there is Binance Dex.
Binance Dex on your Trust Wallet. So this is what has happened. Trust Wallet used to be an independent company. They got acquired by Binance in May or June.
Okay.
So because of the acquisition by Binance, they automatically became Binance decentralized wallet. So now Binance Dex can be traded on your Trust wallets.
Okay.
So if you go to exchange on your Trust wallet, you can actually buy TWT there and then with either Ethereum, I think, whether Ethereum or BNB or Bitcoin, you'll be able to buy.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Franklin, do you have a question? I see your mic's on.
Is my mic on? Hold on.
Yes.
Right. So I missed last week's class. How can I access the videos or the recordings?
Okay, so usually what I do, I used to record them, but now I live stream them to YouTube. So
okay, if
you need I'll send the YouTube link on the WhatsApp group so that if anybody wants to watch any of the past weeks, you usually find it there. At least since I think beginning of September, I've been live streaming them. So yeah.
Okay. So obviously up until last week, all the things that you sent through, I've downloaded and I've been able to successfully do the what is it called what the gentleman was speaking about just now.
The airdrop.
The airdrops and all. So obviously I'm kind of new to this, so I need to I need
Yeah.
a better understanding. So hence the reason why I'm asking for the link so that I can
Yeah.
obviously revisit, and then I might be able to have more questions next week.
Sure. If you have any questions, do let me know. Like I've tried to explain to people who have asked me that, this your cryptocurrency that you're always talking about. How can you explain it? I'm like, yeah, simple. Take the stock market, take the stock forex market, and put it on steroids. That's what it is. Yeah, more technology, more advanced automation, and of course, a lot more potential market capitalization in the future. Because if you follow the trend of what's happening, you see that even governments, I mean, if Nigerian government can be talking about using blockchain for payments, for public payments, then you know that it's a serious stuff. And what I hear is that in G20 next year, the World Bank is going to be proposing tax model, that they're out to tax cryptocurrency. In fact, Spain, I didn't mention that Spain is already saying, if you have crypto assets,
I think I saw a couple of that on the news.
That you need to declare it so that they can tax you. Like, really? After you have taxed the original capital that you used to buy it.
So another question I do have is I've got the crypto app, and obviously I've put a bit of money in it, but I kind of need to understand what I'm doing, to be quite honest. It's not
clear to you.
I know you've spoken about Binance coins. I've got with me right now, I have crypto coins, I have where is it? A couple of things anyway I have on it, but I can see the money going up and going down on a daily basis. On a daily basis, but I'm just thinking, I haven't invested a lot of money, but I have put some money in, but I just need to have I have a fiat wallet. And in my crypto wallet, I've got Uniswap, Harmony, and all those stuff.
Okay.
So
really, I think next week will be a good opportunity to actually explain.
Okay.
To use that opportunity to explain the app. I think one other person have asked me before if I'd done any video on, the usage of the cryptocurrency.com app and the whole platform itself.
Okay.
I think now that you brought it up again, I'll probably look towards explaining more next week.
Okay.
But usually, essentially, what crypto.com is trying to do is to be your one-stop shop for everything cryptocurrency. It's a far-fetched ideal, but the ones that I think they're currently quite good at is creating a flexible user interface for digital banking. So you can actually bank on crypto.com. You can, of course, about staking, or maybe you don't know about staking, but you can stake. Up until now, you could make some decent money.
Okay.
Or up until this week, you can actually make some decent returns by staking on crypto.com.
Yeah, so they changed their rate again this morning, so they got up to 10% now. So
they increase it.
Yeah, they increased it.
The market went crazy on them now. 2 days.
They changed it.
2 days of free fall. So what I think
the free fall was an opportunity for some of us that don't have before to buy now. Yeah.
True. But yeah, that's true. I actually thought I wasn't have time to talk about crypto.com and the free fall. But basically what I think is happening is they are trying to launch mainnets. And the how do I put it now? The algorithm that the mainnet is going to use to produce new coins is different from what they're using on the Ethereum network. So all the 100 billion tokens that they have is currently on the Ethereum network. The 20 or yes, 20 billion. The 20 billion in circulation is also currently on the Ethereum network, largely speaking. So now when they go to their own network, which is a different terrain, there has to be a separate algorithm for how new coins will be generated. So they have to do something about the old ones. For them to do that, they will need to reduce the amount of bonus, not bonuses, the interest. So exchange before now used to give 20% APR, which is for the 6 months you are staking, you will get 10% back. I mean, there's no fund in the world that can match that currently. So they needed to review it, but I think they did it too drastically. They just took it from 20 to 6%, bam. And of course, they probably just realized that, okay, it was too much and brought it back to 10%. So now, if you stake for 6 months on the app, you get 5% return, which is still decent. Yeah, I think it's still decent in fairness, because it helps them to also maintain liquidity. But what's more important is that Crypto.com also allows you to borrow against your assets, which is significant for people like us in the Western country, because in 2-3 years' time, when they see how many people have become millionaires and billionaires from cryptocurrency, they will start talking about, capital gains tax on crypto. So it helps to take out your crypto with loans and not just withdraw directly. I'm going to address that maybe in December or January when people start making profits significantly, because then you need to know how to strategize and be smart about your money.
I will note that.
Yeah,
that's the one I'm waiting for.
Because the
but
government
don't
also
tell Dr. Lalere, please.
I heard you.
Rodney.
I heard you.
So
after washing your car with a crow.
I
don't know about that.
So it's important that people know how to play this game, especially guys in the US. The way they play their tax is so crazy. So if you take out a loan against your assets, it's not taxable because it's a loan. But if you do direct withdrawal, then you are subject to capital gains tax. Eventually, you might drag it with them, but eventually you'll be subject to capital gains. So I think people need to have that mindset steady. Then the other aspect of setting up corporate entities to shelter or trust to shelter your. I think it's beyond the scope of this meeting. Guys on Instagram, we're going off in about 30 seconds. Thank you everyone for joining. We can still continue on Zoom. For the guys on Instagram, thanks for joining. See you again next week. If you do have any questions, you can DM me directly on Instagram or any clarifications. Hopefully we'll see you again next week, 7:30 Nigerian time. We're still operating the same time with Nigeria, I think, till the end of the month or thereabouts. So 7:30 Nigeria and UK time at the moment. So guys on Zoom, Ibrahim, I see your mic is on as well. Do you have any question just before we go? Hold on. Ibrahim.
Sorry, I don't have a question.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much, everybody. See you again next week.
What date did you say is the next training for the Crypto Pulse?
31st.
Okay, 31st.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for that.
Saturday 31st.
Okay. Are we showing a new interest or our interest before carries on?
I don't understand that. You have to show new interest. Oh, okay. Yes, you have to show new interest, even though, of course, you get a discount because if you're already part of the first class, you get a discount on this one.
Okay.
But
I will DM you then.
Okay, this is a much more advanced class, so people who are already familiar with it can also join. But yeah, if you are part of the first class, then automatically you have a discount.
Okay.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for joining. Talk to you later. I said thanks for joining.
Bye.
And make sure you send donation to our people doing NSAR, so help to support them.
Yeah, I learned that they are even collecting, they are donating money to them by Bitcoin.
Yes, now.
Yeah.
When CBN wanted to shut down their.
Yeah.
They wanted
It's
to
a
shut
very
down their-
nice something that they are actually doing, and some of us are with them in the spirits.
We are with them. We are with them in the spirits because our parents will not allow us to do it that time. But
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I mean, and you can't blame our parents, which was what I was telling somebody today, that our parents